I am beside myself. Not only that
I
the
know you
girl
are.
died in her own home with her mom snoring away in the next room or a few rooms over, but could you just give everyone a refresher, a nutshell, a cliff note on what was found on Stearns' own cell phone after he tried to wipe it of all its information?
Oh, horrifying images of abusing Madeline Soto since she was um, 8, 9, 10 years old. That's the videos that they found on his phone.
Yeah, when I see these type of pictures here, I know it started right there. In this picture, she's a victim. I know that. Because these guys aren't creative. They aren't unpredictable. They aren't spontaneous. They are sick individuals that follow a specific fact pattern. I assure you that if she looks like around 6 or 7 years old there, this abuse is happening. I don't know if it's physical. It may be physical, or it may just be psychological, which is the precursor to the physical. But the abuse, the grooming is happening at this moment in this picture. This is not a happy moment. This is not the calm before the storm. This is the midst of the storm. This is the eye of the storm, ladies and gentlemen. And while this storm is destroying worlds in the background, what do we see in the foreground? What do we see in the foreground, ladies and gentlemen? Mom of the Year, Jen Soto. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable. Big shout out before we jump back into this, though. You guys know I got to show that love. Big shout out to Una, celebrating 1 month as a patrol member. We do appreciate you, Una. Thank you for breaking bread with the show. She said, appreciation for your hard work from South Africa. I love it. This one's for Africa. Remember that? The Shakira song? I love it. Let's keep going.
He tried to get rid of him. He didn't. That was, obviously immediate red flag for law enforcement. And now to say, I didn't have anything to do with any of this. She slept with me. None of this, happened. I left and, I guess he must have forgotten that they had lots and lots of video of what happens in the evening.
I want you guys also think about something here, because we just saw another picture. Look at that picture. Let that picture sink into your spirit. Go back here to this picture. Look how long this child has been in this situation. Look how she has changed, morphed as a human being, grown, matured. Look how long she's been indoctrinated in this abuse. For her, it was a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. And people ask, why no outcry? Why no? She's 13. Why didn't she just walk to the police station and say, help me? Look how long she has been programmed. This little girl didn't know what was up. She didn't know what was right, what was left. She didn't know what was normal, what was not normal. She knew nothing. She had no baseline. Her father was not in her life. Anybody who listened to his interview that he did with detectives will know that her father was not in her life. She had no baseline. Because it's kind of like explaining the last time he met her.
What involvement have you had in Maddie's life?
Boom, listen.
I have tried to maintain civil connections with the mother. I would say prior to the last 2 years, I normally got to see my daughter about once a year. It was 2 years since I got to see Maddie, and the last time I saw her was October of last year.
Now, we all know people who have dealt with custody issues, parental alienation. It's something, because we're human. So a lot of times when you have a child with a woman and you're no longer with her, especially if you move on and you appear to be happy, it's just human nature that you might get some friction. It doesn't always happen. So if that's not your story, don't embrace it. If you've asked any of those friends or relatives that have gone through this, and you've asked them the questions that this detective is asking this man, Tyler, they would say, I tried to, but she wouldn't let me, or she did this to stop this from happening. You notice that that's never coming out of his mouth. He's never once blaming Jen Soto for his inability to see the child. You never hear him saying, I could not spend my more time with my child because Jen was engaging in parental alienation or any derivative of that. He doesn't have to use that terminology. He doesn't allude to it. The most he says is, I tried to stay civil with the mother. But that could mean anything. What does that mean? Can you explain to us how Jen was uncivil? It doesn't appear to be happening. Doesn't appear for him that he's ever pointing fingers at this woman saying that she's stopping him from being in his child's life. Let's keep going.
And where were you then? Did you come to Florida or?
She came to Texas. Maddie was sent to visit us in Texas. She traveled on it.
Well, why are we hearing from you? Why are you even on speakerphone? Why? We're all adults here. I can judge these people because I'm in similar relationships. Most of you are in serious relationships, either long-term or marriage. We are talking to dad right now. That's why when I conduct these interviews, I say, you have to go. Because you will find half the time that it's that boyfriend or husband, most of the time, that's pushing the person to make these complaints, because sometimes it's an extramarital affair, a cheating, and it's like, oh, I really didn't want to do it, but I did it, because they don't want to take accountability for the fact that they willingly cheated on this person.
What was your guys' relationship leading up to all of this?
I tried to talk with Jennifer as little as possible. There was a period when Maddie was first born that Jennifer seemed pretty intent on breaking up my marriage with my wife. And so in the nature of making everybody happy, I just talked to Jennifer as little as possible.
Boom. His mouth to your ears. You just had a baby with this woman. She's taking care of an infant all by herself. Let us now forget about everything we know about Jen Soto, ladies and gentlemen. It is imperative that you take all of that bias out of your brain right now. Look at Jen Soto as a woman right now. And listen, I've dedicated hours bashing Jen Soto on this channel. Take it out of your brain and look at Jen Soto as a single mother right now. She just had a baby with this dude. It takes two to make that baby. She did not force him to put his peen inside of her club without a condom and shoot it up. He shot the club up. What did you think would happen? You made a Maddie. You were irresponsible. You made a Maddie. She's now raising that child by herself. What do you think would happen? Of course she's going to be conflicted. Of course she's going to want you in the child's life. Of course she might actually want you. Of course she might say, yo, listen, I know you got a fiance and all that right now, but I got a family right here waiting for you. Come do the right thing and be with your family. It's not like she just met the guy on the corner and had a baby with a Tinder date. She dated the dude for years when they were kids. They have history. They have a connection. I think the only reason why they broke up is because he moved away. So he chose. He told us he chose. He said, she was trying to break up my marriage, so I had the least amount of contact possible with Jen Soto. He made the choice. Jen didn't make that choice. He made that choice. He abandoned his child. She had no baseline as to what was normal. Look at the progression from baby to young woman. At that pivotal moment in her life when she's supposed to be learning about her personal space, her dignity, her self-worth, boundaries. Beelzebub was muddying those waters, putting dirt under the bridge, telling her that this is what love is. This is how you show love. This is how you express love. And this is how you express it, show it with me. And we wonder why there was no outcry the way we would have hoped there was an outcry. There were outcries. There were attempts in her own little way, but we wonder why there weren't any just blatant outcries that maybe could have saved her life. She didn't know any better. And she had no support system.